Well, hello, and I hope everybody's having a good day. I'm Hawkeye. This is Maple Leafs Man Advantage, and I'm going to do a video tonight about the current Toronto Maple Leafs as the trade deadline has passed for the Leafs. Um, I forgot to look it up. I think they're at least 8 points out of the playoffs with 2 games in hand by the other team, that is the Boston Bruins. So the Toronto Maple Leafs did the correct thing and became sellers at the deadline. And there has been some trades made by the Leafs, and I'm going to talk about them. As well as, I literally was going to do a video before the deadline, but there was a lot of other videos I've seen prior to that. So I'm going to give my 2 cents on top of that, the trades made on what I would do if I was the GM, or perhaps what I think these guys need to do. But I'm a fan, so I have no, I'm not part of the team at all, like part of management or anything like that. But I thought I'd do that too, and I hope you enjoy the video. And if you do, I'd appreciate it to hit like or the thumbs up, as well as I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe. And put any comments on here as you would like as well about the deadline and the future of the Toronto Maple Leafs from this point forward. Now, as well, I've got a Guinness here in front of me. It's the end of the work week for me, so this is good. Friday night, it's even payday. Double good, right? Tomorrow night, Tunnel Knock. I've talked about him in other videos. I'm going to go out with him tomorrow night. I know him. We're going to go out for dinner with the wives and his cousin. And I got to do it. I'm going to have to talk to him about some hockey. He's a big Canucks fan. Boy, they're even worse than the Leafs. But that means they're going to perhaps have a very good pick in the next draft. But so just to let you know that as well. So there you have it. Now, what would I do with the Leafs? Unfortunately for me, right now with the Leafs, it may have to do with they've gone through so many years here in being in the playoffs. With Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner was there, with John Tavares, with Morgan Riley, these guys, William Nylander as well. Those core guys. But now they're on the outside looking in. It's bringing up other times in my mind where it was tough to be a Leafs fan. I am too young, but I'm sure it was tough when Dave Keon left for the WHA and the Leafs got nothing for him. At that time, he just left the Leafs. That must have been tough. It also must have been tough seeing the Leafs trade Lanny McDonald, and then the Leafs trade away Daryl Sittler as well. Must have been very tough. And I do remember a time with Matt Sundin. I think there was 5 of them. They had no trade clauses. They all didn't leave. Matt Sundin, and it was his right. It was in his contract, and you know what? I would have given him that right. He was a guy to build a team around, right? But they were not very good, and they were looking to rebuild or get some draft picks, try a different direction. That was very tough, leading to years where they just were not good enough to make the playoffs and not bad enough to get a good draft pick. Years until they that did happen. They were bad enough. They got the #1 pick and they got Austin Matthews. It was tough, and I haven't even mentioned the '80s all the way through till getting Cliff Fletcher as the GM. It was tough. I was pretty darn young, but it was tough because it was either like you're not making the playoffs, or it was a surprise if you won a round in the playoffs. So it was tough. So there you go. Now, to me, every single player on this team, if I was a GM, is on the table. everyone. There are no untouchable guys here. I lived through Wayne Gretzky getting traded, and after that, the Edmonton Oilers still won a Stanley Cup. So anybody can be traded in my mind. Anyone. So first, I'm going to look at, and maybe I'll put it up here, guys that are on the Leafs with clauses in their contract that can prevent me from just trading them to whomever has the best deal for me. First, there's Austin Matthews. He has a full no-move clause. William Nylander, also full no-move clause. Morgan Riley, full no-move. Chris Tanev, full no-move. John Tavares, full no-move. 5 guys, full no-move clauses. We also have Oliver Ekman-Larsson. He has a 16-team no-trade list. Max Domi has a 13 no-team trade list. Kalle Yarncrook, has a 10-team no-trade list. And Brandon Carlo has an 8-team no-trade list as well. And to let you know, he's gone now, but David Kampf, he had a 10-team no-trade list. What? And then he was put on waivers and claimed by the Vancouver Canucks. That is incredible for me. A team not making the playoffs with that many players with clauses in their contract not allowing you to move them. It's incredible to me. As I said, that was Sundin's right back in the day to not want to be traded out of Toronto. That was his right. And as I said, I would have given him that same no trade that he got. I definitely would have. Now, I am not totally against no trade clauses. As I said, I would give that to him. But they're given, in my mind, to guys that you build teams around. And by doing so, would then be there to be the heart of the team for years to come. How many forwards would I do that with? Maybe 2. I'm talking 1 defenseman and 1 goalie. And he had better be one of the best in the league. And that defenseman better be a number 1 defenseman in the league, right? Those are the players I would give those clauses to. And that's it. If a guy's coming to me, I'm going to sign in Toronto, but I want a no trade with it. Sorry. I'm sorry, go sign somewhere else then. I don't want that to hamstring my team, this organization. If at some point you aren't as good as you are now, or this team isn't as good as we think it is, and we need to move you, or for whatever reason, it's about the team, right? Now, deals are not as easy as they once were in the league. Anybody who's watched the game or for a long period of time is aware of that. But I personally don't think that's good for the league in having stagnant trades or waiting for the deadline, which never hits the peak that it's set up to be. There's definitely trades, but it's not like half the team, half the players getting traded. It's almost, I don't know. But I think it's better for the league to have free-flowing trades, but it's not set up that way. There's a cap. It's not like the old days where you could just pay whatever you want. I'm not saying salaries shouldn't be known, or I don't know what a player A, B, or C makes. No, it's good to know that, to have that information. But I think it is better for the league to have free-flowing trades. I don't know how that happens in the current system. And I'm not here to sit and try and figure that out. But there's certain things that have changed to try and make that happen. But I don't know. It just isn't happening in my mind. Trades still happen, but boy, oh boy, there's not that many in my mind in comparison to days long ago. Um, Beyond that, I think it creates excitement for the fans. And it can also allow a team to do a quicker reset or a restart on their team by making these trades. Now, not all trades are smart. Some are extremely stupid and should never have been made, but it happens. Absolutely every team will have trades they should not have made through the years. Now, and I think as a general manager or someone running the team, you have to have a number of plans in mind. If plan A or plan 1 doesn't work, you then have to go down the next side road or maybe jump completely to another plan as to what you're going to do. Because I'm pretty sure 100% of my plan here, plan A, it's not going to work, and it still may, but I don't think so. Not certainly not by deadline day. No, it will not happen. But now, so looking at the list, what I would do, excuse me, first is I would sit down. This is me. You certainly don't have to agree with me whatsoever. This is my opinion. But I would sit down with Austin Matthews, Willie Nylander, and Morgan Riley, all three of them, and let them know what my game plan is. Why? Because of those are the three guys with no trades I would be looking to move. Right out of the chute. So I would let them know what it is, and that is to, trade you guys if you would like to go somewhere. If not, that is your right because you have been given that ability. And then I'm going to trade players from this team to get draft picks or players, young players that I could either put on my team here, the Leafs, or in the AHL. That's what I'm looking to do. So, are they willing to stay on the course through their entire contract if that is what happens? Or do you want to be moved? And if so, can you perhaps give me a list of teams that you would like to go to? If it's like 1 or 2 teams, I will try. I will try. See if it can happen. If not, I may have to come back to them and ask for a larger list. Because that must be difficult to have just like one team and somehow, work a trade just with one team like that they're going to go to. I think you're just going to get hosed in that deal. And if that's the case, if that's all you're going to get back, I'm not moving you if I'm going to get hosed in the deal. That is for sure. And the thing is, if I can move these 3 guys, in my mind, that's like a rebuild. That is removing, that's not the right word, but you would be changing the team. Because those 3 guys have been here a very long time. They're the face of the team, right? Or part of the face of the team. You have the captain is right there and maybe 1 or 2 assistants as well. It's big to remove those guys. Now you could say who you're going to replace them with. You know what? I'm going to replace them with someone else. As in, I'm not going to look to replace any of those players. Because just in the sense of I'm not looking for the next Austin Matthews or the next Nylander or the next Riley. I'm looking to build this team up with whatever assets I can get back for those players. And I think you could get a lot for the first 2 anyways. I'm not saying you can get nothing for Riley, but that might be more difficult. Um, and then through all these years of going to the playoffs, you have just count them, 2 playoff rounds. That's not successful. You're making the playoffs, but this is that's not what I'm looking for. You need to hold Lord Stanley high, kiss that cup, and that's what you're after as a team, from a sports point of view. Anyways, now there's absolutely no guarantee that a rebuild will work. We tried that, right, with Matthews. I just don't think it was done correctly. They didn't have that number one defenseman. They didn't have that number one goalie, and they're kind of going for it. It's unfortunate. They had some terrific, talented guys, but it didn't work. Now, and definitely, as I said there, to me, that's a rebuild right there. So you don't have to trade everybody off of your team, in my mind. So there you go. So if I get the answer of yes, I would like to go from all 3 of these guys. And days ago when I was sitting down thinking all this out, I'm like, that is probably not going to happen. And it didn't. None of these guys did move at the deadline, and that is fine. But if they say yes, Plan A is now working. That is what Plan A is. So if any of them say no, in any way, at this particular point, I would then sit down with some other players on the team, and on these no trade lists, those particular guys. So Yarncroc, Domi, Ekman Larson, and Carlo. And I think Carlo and Yarncroc were the only 2 on the end of their contract here. So there's definitely some term on Domi and Ekman Larson. It's odd that there seems to be some sort of love affair with term. I don't know if there is, but it just seems like there is from the Toronto Maple Leafs perspective. Sometimes that can hurt you. Sometimes you don't want term with particular players. Sometimes you need to move on or try another direction. But there is term with Domi and Ekman Larson. And as I thought Ekman Larson and Carlo are movable. If Carlo was on his last year of his contract, that tells me the asking price was either too high or nobody wanted Carlo. I doubt it was the second one. But was the asking price like a second rounder and a prospect? Because I don't think you're going to get that for Carlo. You might get a second rounder, period. But I thought they were movable defensemen, and I don't know what happened behind the scenes. Maybe Troubling wants to re-sign Carlo, wants to keep him around, or I don't know. Now with Ekman Larson, the thing I don't like about moving him is he is, I think, been your best defenseman this year, and their defense has been not very good this year in Toronto. A good reason why they are where they are. So by pulling him out of the lineup, and Carlo, because Carlo hasn't been bad, he just hasn't played a whole heck of a lot. You're going to be considerably worse, I would say. And just, so maybe that's the reason why the trade wasn't made. I'm not sure. And then another player I would call upon or see out there who would like is Bobby McMahon as well. And I know people who actually want to keep him around. And he's not a bad player. I don't say that at all. Sometimes he has some really good games, and he's fast and he's big and can score goals, but I'd be moving him. I think he's movable as well. So there's another guy I would leave. Now the other thing as well with this team, and I don't like this because it's not. They still got time here, but the Leafs have 3 goalies, right? So they got Anthony Stolarz, they got Joseph Wall, and Dennis Hildeby. Right now, Hildeby has options. You can move him to the minors. That's okay. Next season, you do not. So somebody's going to be put on waivers if you cannot end up trading one of these guys off, and they will just go away for nothing. Personally, Hildeby is the one of the 3 I would like to keep because he's the youngest. I don't believe he's shown that he gets hurt, and we haven't quite seen what his ceiling is perhaps in the NHL, and I would hate to trade him or let him go away on waivers and see that, oh boy, I wish we still had that guy in our net. So the one guy to me, and maybe I'm wrong, I think he may be the easier of the 2 to move, would be Joseph Wall. But it looks like at the deadline nobody wants a goalie, or goalies just don't move that easily. But he's the one guy I would try and move, and that's okay. You could still work out a deal in the off season, but the asking price is going to have to be down. If you're wanting like a couple of picks or a pick and a prospect, and I don't know, your back's up against the wall at that point, you may have to reconsider. You may have to see what else can be done about that, because you can't let one of these guys walk for nothing, and maybe that'll be what happens. I don't know, but there's that as well. That you got 3 goalies next year, and they are not all going to be playing with the Leafs. And then there's lots of other guys on this team too, like Troy Stetcher, Nick Robertson, Michelli. What can you be given for those guys? I don't know. The one problem I have with Robertson is, boy, I really wish they gave this guy a lot more playing time on the ice, because I got a feeling he's going to go on to score 30 goals in this league. And I feel after this season, this contract is over, he's unrestricted. He may say, there's no way I'm going back to Toronto. I always have to fight for a contract. They never give me playing time. I want to play. I want to score some goals. I want some playing time. Who's got it? And he'll sign a contract somewhere else. But yeah. And then there's Michelli. He's unrestricted, or restricted, I'm sorry. So he's still owned by the Leafs. So it's not as big of a deal as in he's not going to walk away. But that's a 1-year deal, not worth much. And I don't know, whatever. I would be fine with that on a rebuilding team. If it's not, I don't know if. Now, what I would do as well, after talking to these 3 guys and saying, that's Matthews, Nylander, Riley, and saying, you want to go, here's my game plan for the future for this team. You can be a part of it because you have that right. You have a no trade clause. I would then go to the media and share my game plan with them as well. What my game plan is. And the fact that these players, are not wanting to move. So here is what I will do now at this point. What that may do, because it's in Toronto, is, I don't know, would that create a firestorm of, wow, all these reporters coming to bother these guys? Maybe. And maybe they're not going to like that. I'm assuming they may not. I don't think they will. But I need to be open with my game plan. Now, when I say I will tell the media about my game plan, that doesn't mean I'm going to give every little single detail of if A doesn't work, I go to B, then C, D, like all that, like the intricate details. I'm not going to do that. But I'll lay the basics of the game plan down of this is what I want to do. If that happened, then okay, this is what's going to happen going forward. If that didn't happen, here is what we're going to do from this point forward to try and rebuild this team or try and get a different, perhaps nucleus of this team going at some point for the Leafs. Now I'm going to go over the trades that were made this deadline by traveling here for the Leafs. And from what I know, there was 3 of them. First was Nick Waugh. He went to the Colorado Avalanche. And in turn, the Leafs got a conditional first rounder for the 2027 draft, as well as a conditional 5th rounder for the upcoming 2026 draft. I am surprised they were able to get a first round pick for him. Although there is term, there is another season. So maybe that pushed this into getting a first rounder. Maybe that's what that's worth, that extra year. It was for Toronto and getting Carlo and Lawton. But maybe that's what that is worth. Now, the conditions to those picks is, interestingly enough, to me, the first rounder is top or bottom 10 protected. So, in my opinion, the Avalanche are favorites to win the cup for me. They also went out and got Nazem Kadri as well. But an ex-Leaf, I might add. But they're favorites to win the cup in my mind, and probably many other people. Are you telling me then they're just going to fall right off the map and become, I think, worse than the Leafs are this year? That's a bit of a joke to think that that would happen unless they had significant injury problems to major players. So by them making that condition, did that allow the Leafs to grab another pick out of them? My guess is it may have. The condition to that pick in the 5th is it will be whatever the bottom pick for the Avalanche is in the 5th round. It'll go to the Leafs. Maybe. So you can think of this as what the Leafs got for Mitch Marner here, because they got Nick Waugh in that trade for the trade and sign with the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, Bobby McMahon also was traded to the Seattle Kraken for a 2nd round pick in the 2027 draft and a 4th rounder in the upcoming draft 2026. This is good. I was expecting the Leafs to get a 2nd rounder for him. Not everybody, a lot of people were thinking the 1st rounder. No. This is the end of his contract. He looks like he's going to get 20 goals this year. I don't think he has yet. That'll be the first time in his career, I believe, he's ever done that. He's also going to be 30 years old next season. So I was thinking a 2nd round pick. They got a 4th. Seeming the time this went through was 3:05, meaning the paperwork was given to the office. Did that wait, give the Leafs an additional 4th round pick? It may have. For Seattle, or good for Seattle, they're going for it. They put McMahon in their lineup. And finally, Scott Lawton. I like this guy. He's going to the LA Kings. And for a conditional 3rd round draft pick, I believe in the upcoming draft, meaning if LA makes the playoffs, it's actually a 2nd round pick. Now, looking at the Kings, I don't think they're making the playoffs. They traded away Corey Perry, traded away Warren Fogle, I think is his name. He scored 20 goals a couple of times, starting last year and the year previous, I think. Trading those guys away, I don't think you're making the playoffs, but they put Lawton in there. So it looks like it's going to be a third rounder. The Leafs gave away a first rounder and a player. He was never put in the Leafs lineup like you gave away a first round pick for this guy. That's what I didn't like, because I don't think Lawton was used properly in the Leafs lineup. So there you go. That's the picks for the Leafs at the deadline, and Trevelyan did okay at the deadline. And I hope that's not it. I hope we're going to be sold that that's it. Everybody else is back, and we're just going to fill these 3 holes with new guys, because I don't know how that team's any better by doing that. But that is just my opinion. I'm just a fan of this team. But there you have it. And that's it. So there you go. But anyways, as I said, if you like this video, hit like, subscribe. That would be awesome. Put a comment in here. And definitely check out Tunnel Nuck, his YouTube channel. He's a Canucks fan. Big Canucks fan. He's sadder than me. They're like the worst in the league. But check him out too if you like the Canucks. Great videos there too. So until next time, go Leafs go!